I'm talking politics. The opposition parties in the country are seemingly in a state of flux, undermining the country's ability to present formidable alternatives to the ruling Progressives Congress, the AAC. Labour Party, with more than a recession at the 2023 general election, still polarized, and not even the recent Supreme Court judgment clarifying the leadership question is able to unify its ranks, with two factional candidates emerging for November's governorship election in Anambra State. Is the Labour Party heading for self-destruct? AIT News correspondent Ogiehi Emekpe reports.
The wind seems to be going off the sails of the Labour Party, which only 2 years ago shocked the country by claiming unexpected wins in the general election. Since then, the party has been torn by internal crises over its leaders. There are currently not less than 4 factions within its ranks. These include the Julius Abure leadership and the Nnamdi Usman camp, where Peter Obi and Governor Alex Otti and their supporters belong. There is a third faction led by Lamidi Apapa, while Callistus Okafor is also laying claims to control of the party structure. On April 4, 2025, the Supreme Court resolved a stretch of one of the various legal issues involving the party. That judgment set aside 2 decisions of the Federal High Court and Court of Appeal, which recognized Julius Abure as the national chairman of the party. The Supreme Court maintained its previous stance that issues of leadership positions are internal affairs of political parties which courts have no jurisdiction over.
Your Excellency.
The hope that the decision will straighten things out has so far been dashed, as the protracted crisis has now shifted to Anambra State, where the National Caretaker Committee, headed by Nnamdi Usman, has picked Jude Umenajego as its governorship candidate.
Can I not pay for nomination form and then we are here contesting? Anybody that is saying that is just doing rumors. And of course, you shouldn't listen to rumor mongers. That's number one. Number two, how can you say that the leader of the caucus of Anambra State House of Assembly, LP members, who has been issuing statements is not known? How can you say that the leader of the Southeast Caucus of Labour Party members is not known? Anybody that is telling you that is just, but it, of course, I know it's politics, so anybody can say anything.
But the Julius-led group, which had earlier conducted its primary, says the caretaker actions are illegal, insisting that Judge Moghalu's name had been submitted to the Independent National Electoral Commission. Moghalu, however, declared that he remains the party's standard-bearer for the November 18 election.
In a family like I see Labour Party, there may be some levels of disagreement, and it could manifest in one form or the other. But I'm sure and certain that it will be resolved. But as to party primary, the primary, as approved and recognized by the Independent National Electoral Commission, took place on the 5th of April. And to the glory of God, to the glory of God, I emerged as the candidate of the party in the elections. So as to whether there's another candidate, that doesn't even exist.
With this, the party's fate in the 2025 Anambra governorship election hangs in the balance with 2 factional candidates. Legal analysts say Supreme Court's decision should have resolved the matter.
Stop laying claim to any court order, because the order is a nullity, because the Supreme Court has said you don't have jurisdiction. So any faction laying claim on any order of court, even that of the Supreme Court, the Supreme Court made is a final declaration that you have jurisdiction, you have made this order is a nullity. So which order again are you trying to lay your hands upon as a basis to say you are the legitimate person? The factions should come together. That's the purport of that decision of the Supreme Court.
The electoral body, INEC, is now left with a chance on which of the candidates will be on the party's ticket for the Anambra poll. But it has remained mum, with a source telling AIT that the commission is still brainstorming on the matter. Ogie Ihimekpen, AIT News, Abuja.
Yeah, and to give us more insight and a legal perspective into the Labour Party crisis, let's now bring in a lawyer, Maxwell Okpara, a very popular one. Welcome to the AIT News Hour.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Okay, Mr. Maxwell, with two factional candidates emerging for November's governorship election in Anambra State from the Labour Party, what's the legal implication of this?
Well, I think we should start by asking which among the primaries INEC monitored. That will give you the background. So among each and one of them, they must have written to INEC, asking INEC they want to conduct primary. So if INEC monitor anyone, you know that will be the one INEC should recognize. That is on the candidates. But if INEC did not monitor any of them, there will be a problem. But if INEC monitored both, there's also a problem.
Now, going into the Labour Party itself, this is the party that in the 2023 elections, it won lots of seats in the House of Assembly. It won National Assembly seats, Senate and the House. It won the governorship seat in Abia State. And from what we can see, even it had a presidential candidate who came third with over 8 million votes, if I recall, or 7.1 or so. As we speak, it seems the party, like my colleague in that report said, seems to have this deep-rooted factionalization amongst its ranks, with even its candidate for the Anambra Enugu governorship election, who ran that race close to the man who eventually was declared winner, now decamping, leaving the party and going back to the PDP. How do you see all of this?
Well, I may not go into discussing issue of Nigerian politicians decamping from one party to another. Is a personal decision, which I may not go in. We see what happened in Delta State. It shows that people don't have shame. People don't have integrity any longer. So, but talking about Labour Party itself, I think where they got it wrong, where Abure failed to listen to advice of someone like P2B. Of course, we don't talk about Labour Party and its success without mentioning P2B. Yes, Labour Party has been there. It's when P2B entered Labour Party that Labour Party was able to, people started moving into Labour Party. Now, when...
No, but I recall, sorry to come in there, that the same Labour Party produced a senator who was the deputy president of the Senate, Ovioma Gege, in 2015 or so.
Then thereafter, what happened?
Then they continued to make their own progress.
But what we're talking about is that 2023 election, when P2B came into Labour Party, that's when people now move into Labour Party. People supported Labour Party because of the person of P2B. That is the naked truth. Now, the Julius Abure, when people complain about your issue, what expected you to leave when the ovation was high and listen to your governor, the only governor you have, the leader of party P2B? So you decided to take issue of convention from one state to another. Then INEC now said that we will not recognize you. When their tenure expired, I think that was in June. So he rushed to court, asking court to compel INEC to recognize him. Remember that INEC have refused to recognize him. In fact, as at that particular time, Labour Party has no chairman. Now you went to court. Court gave you judgment, directing INEC to recognize you. The matter went to Court of Appeal. You still have your judgment. Now, when the matter now gets to Supreme Court now dismiss the judgment of Federal High Court and that of Court of Appeal and return the matter to status quo. What was the status quo? The status quo of INEC refusing to recognize you. Now, was
it a case of INEC refusing to recognize, or the Supreme Court said, do issues around the leadership of political parties is in the hands of the political parties.
And they did what again? After saying that, and did what? And dismissed the entire judgment given by Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal. So it shows that INEC still maintain their position of not recognizing you, saying that your tenure has expired. So now the party, when you are talking about the party, we have statutory NEC member, the governor and the deputy governor. They converge and appoint a caretaker committee. What are we talking about? It's a very simple thing. The judgment of the Supreme Court is
okay, so in your eyes, the Nenadi Usman-led caretaker exco is the authentic leadership of the LP?
That is the position.
Okay.
Going by the Supreme Court judgment.
Okay, the views of lawyer Maxwell Okpara. Thank you for giving your perspectives on the Labour Party.
It's my pleasure.
On the ITVs app.
It's my pleasure.
And members of the River State caucus in the National Assembly have pledged their support and commitment to work for the re-election bid of President Bola Tinubu in the 2027